Hiya!
So cheesy.
Hey everyone, we're the Sabbs. We should go through names.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, my name is Krum and I'm Union President.
I'm Biba and I'm the President of Sport.
I'm Jordan, I'm President of Education and Wellbeing.
I'm Nick Beard, President of Student Activities.
Woo! And we're your leadership team for 17-18. So, we're going to go through a few questions with Adem. Say hello, Adem.
Yeah, we've got the elections coming up in the new year.
When
Very
are they?
exciting.
27th of Jan.
Nominations open 22nd January.
Till the 5th of March, isn't it?
Yeah, good
Wow,
work there,
I
Nick.
know that.
Basically, all these guys got elected into their roles, and come that time again, we're going to be electing new students, and it might be helpful just to kind of get a bit of an idea about what the roles are. So not something that's written on a bit of paper, but actually hear from our Sabbs themselves. So it might be worth asking, why did you stand for election? And we'll do it in a kind of a blind date style, and we'll start with contestant number one. Krum.
Yeah, I think I always was thinking to run for a sub because I was like quite involved with sports and with my course and some other stuff. And I just came to do my third year, and there were by-election going around for Union President. So I decided to run and won. So definitely get involved, and I'm going to run.
So I've wanted to be sports ad during my whole time at uni, since my first year. I was always really heavily involved in sport. I know it's something that I really wanted to do in the future. So in my first year, I was like a varsity maker, and I met Aidan, who was a current sports ad. And I literally said to him, I want your job. I want to do what you do when I'm older. And here I am. So yeah, it's been something that I've wanted to do for a long time.
Wow, that's really rude going to someone and saying you want their
No,
job.
it wasn't in a rude
I want
way.
your job.
This
It
was
wasn't
you
in
going
the
around.
So I can
It was in like a nice little. It was like in a cute, endearing, fresher way. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Like,
it's
this,
cute.
like, I want your job now.
Nah, not one of them. It was like, oh, that's cute.
I ran because I thought that
I want to
we
be
could-
like Phil.
It's really good.
Well, yeah, that's actually just said what I was going to say.
Oh,
I
no.
recognised that there was a lot of things going wrong in the uni, and I wanted to try and make a change. I try and do my best and do what I can.
Oh.
Cute.
I wasn't ready for the adult world,
Great.
the real job, so I thought I'd get involved in union and do all the fun things and make a good change in the students' lives.
Wow,
Wow.
wow.
Boom. It's all the sound bites there, Nick. All the sound bites.
So inspirational.
All the right intentions.
So obviously, you got elected. 3 of you have been have done the role for 2 years. Jordan's done it for 1 year. What would a typical day generally be? It doesn't have to be like, oh, on this day I did this. Maybe think of a bit of an amalgamation of different aspects of your roles, and do it. And we'll start with Nick maybe.
Well, it's such a diverse job. You can go from one day, I was dressed up as a condom, promoting the summer ball, and then the next day you could be in like a 3-hour-long meeting, which isn't as good. But yeah, it's very different.
Cool.
I probably agree with you, but I mean, a typical day is probably, meeting with the uni, internal meetings in the union, replying to millions of emails every day, and then meeting with students, which is the best part, most rewarding part.
Yeah, I agree with the other two. It's just so you're literally sometimes having meetings with students, and then straight away having meetings with the university, meetings with the union. Sometimes going in the back getting kit out, or I'm going up to watching sport. Like, you can't really plan a day because something always comes up. But I think that's what makes it so good. Like, every day is different.
Yeah. Like, I will agree to a certain extent, but mine is really planned. That is like, for me, is like really, I think it's quite different because it's, I go to meet like governing body, or I'll be meeting like with a local MP, or we'll be doing something else. So it's, I want to be more student like facing, and that's fun part as well. It's like balance between meetings, emails, and actually talking with students.
Yeah, we probably get like hundreds of emails a day, so
No, don't.
that's a full-time job in itself.
Yeah.
So generally, it's not all fun and games.
No.
No.
You do have to do some administrative
Yeah.
things.
But we make it
But
fun though.
You make it fun.
Yeah.
Because you get to do things like Union on tour, don't you? Going around and visiting different campuses, chatting to students.
Yeah. Giving out freebies.
Freebies. What's the best freebies that you've given out or been best received by
Condoms.
students?
They love the condoms. But
I love the veg packs.
I also thought when we made smoothies, that was really good last
they
year.
love them.
They love smoothies, so that was good.
And the Christmas lucky dip. Where you
Oh, yeah.
You get.
Everyone loves chocolate as well, so that
And
works.
pizza.
Oh yeah, pizza goes
Pizza
down the
works
street.
as well.
Pizza's good. I'm sure we'll do some pizza at our annual members meeting.
Make sure you do that.
Insert plug.
When's that?
Oh, I couldn't possibly tell you.
Ruin the surprise for everyone.
It's a surprise. I think it's on the 24th. It's on our Facebook page though. Have a look at our events on Facebook,
Thursday.
and you'll see everything on there. So that's what you actually do. What did you expect the job was going to be like? Is it how you thought it was going to be? Did you think it was just going to be fun and games, or you've kind of changed the role a little bit?
It's I found it very different than what I thought it would be, because I came by election and all this stuff I was not really prepared to start, because I was elected on Friday and started on Monday, and I expected it's going to be a lot of more like not as hard as actually the job is, and not as serious as the job is. Because people don't see, maybe some people see our jobs and say, oh, they just have fun all day and all this stuff. But it's actually, we do a lot of serious things. And
I think it's also just being in the spotlight all the time as well. Like, you have to be careful of what you say, how you behave. You are sort of like a role model to the rest of the students. So I think it's being in that spotlight as well. Well, try and be role models.
Yeah.
I think it's so strange, especially in my meetings, education. I'm in a room with people that have been in their field for 40 years, and I'm sort of sitting there like, oh God, don't say anything wrong.
Can't understand what they're saying, can you?
Yeah, I know.
They use smaller words.
They use words with like 3 syllables.
Crazy.
But I think though that nothing can actually prepare you for the job either. You have an idea of what it's going to be like, but it never is like that. And you just learn so much from the job as well. The skills that I've got from the job is just unbelievable, and something that I'll take future.
Yeah, same. Like if we think it's like I'm sitting on the governing body where half of the people are bishops or sirs, so it gives you opens a lot of doors for you, opportunities that you wouldn't have the chance to see all these things and have all these opportunities if you're not in the job.
It's a really, really good job, and I think no one's unqualified and no one's qualified to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You sort of grow into the job a lot.
And it's what you make it. Like, you choose what you want to do and how proactive
Especially
you want to be. Yeah. Especially with the Sabb roles changing, I think it's so much platform for you guys to really make it your own.
Awesome, but just kind of set people at ease a little bit. You get training and things, don't you, to get into the role and have staff support as well. So you went on NUS training probably.
Yeah. That was really good. As in, like, you come back feeling so inspired, which is really important, and motivates you for the year ahead.
And also, most importantly, you actually meet people who do the same job as you, but they work in, for example, they will be working in Sheffield, Manchester, whatever unions they are. So you create this type of links, and after that, it's type of a support network as well.
They become one of your best friends.
Well,
yeah.
I think as well, when you go to the one in July, you sort of realise that everyone else who's been elected is sort of doesn't know what they're doing either. So it's really comforting to know that you're sort of going for the same journey together. And
also, every union is different. Like, no one can ever be the best sports app. They must be the best sports app for that union, but they might not be the best here. So, it's about doing what's best for Christchurch.
Yep.
Awesome. So, tell us about your best day on the job so far. The one that you're kind of like, yeah, it's good to be a Sabb. Any examples?
My best day on the job has to be the day where we went to the puppy farm, the puppy day, and the puppies were like 4 weeks old, and I actually got genuinely trampled by puppies. As in, I sat on the floor and I got trampled.
So what was the puppy farm for?
It was going to check the welfare of the puppies with the breeder for Puppy Day, which we raised money for Tag Pegs Rescue. And yeah, we went to go check out the puppies, and
yeah, there were quite a few. It was good for student stress relief, wasn't it, as well?
Oh, very good.
Around kind of exam time and things like that.
And we did our first ever one in Broadstairs as well this year.
Yeah, so Broadstairs added on there as well. Nick, awesome.
My best day was when we won the best union of the year for the Green Impact Award at the NUS Awards.
Oh,
So
what's Green Impact?
So that is the NUS sustainability challenges that they.
Basically, how green you are.
How green our union is, yeah, and we came first, which was great.
That's
meant that all the hard
pretty good.
work was worth it.
Awesome. And did you get to did they have an awards or anything like that?
Yeah.
Did you pick up the award?
Did you?
Do you get some new shoes there? They're a bit big for you, aren't they?
No, perfect.
My favourite day has to be Sports Fed. It's just an amazing day, it really is. And amazing evening. Having all the members that you represent all in one room, just so happy. Obviously the wine makes them happy as well. But just like everyone's just so proud of each other's achievements, and it's that feeling of love in a room, like nothing compares to it. And when you're standing on stage talking to everyone, it's just an unbelievable feeling. And bring on next year, because I absolutely can't wait.
And yeah, my one is actually for my first term as president, and it's the student protest that we did in front of the students' union. Is because something that actually really matters to students and something that impacts students. It has absolutely direct impact on students. It was an letting agency that mistreated our students, and we organized a protest and had like around 150 students coming and protesting in front of their offices and stuff. So it was like showing students' unity, and it's what the students' unions are actually about, defending students. And it was the first ever protest that we organized in Christchurch. So for me, it was a little bit like of building a strong housing campaign as we continue building on, especially Jordan and myself this year.
Well, that's quite a few things. We've actually got some questions from students.
Go for it!
Real genuine questions.
Real
from
students.
Real genuine students.
I think they're from prospective students, so students that haven't started yet.
Nice.
Cool.
So we've got Jake. So say hello, Jake.
Hi,
Hi,
Jay.
Jay.
Hiya.
He's
Hey.
asked, what do you get during freshers? But maybe what do you do during freshers? Because obviously it's like freshers when you guys are starting on your new roles, but there's obviously lots of students to represent as well. So
Freshers
maybe
the
what
best.
the union kind of does during freshers.
Would you get best friends for life?
Yes.
Basically, there's a
And
whole
STDs.
week of freshers events. So there's daytime activities as well as nighttime activities. So every night there's different activities such as bingo, Hawaiian. What other themes did we have?
Hawaiian.
The Facebook
Just
one.
Bingo.
Facebook.
Where you learn about
And Hawaiian. We have
And
What was the
we had-
Hawaiian one? Do you remember the
We
Hawaiian
had the Freshers Farm, which we had loads of animals on campus. That was really cute. Had loads. That's a good event for students with dependents as well.
So Freshers Fair is probably one of our biggest
one,
events
yeah.
because it kind of showcases everything that the union does, and these guys all be there representing their kind of specific areas. So we've actually got a question from Rami, and he's asking if we have a volleyball team.
We do have
Yeah.
a volleyball team
And where would they find out about the volleyball team during Freshers, maybe?
at Freshers Fair.
Boom.
Basically, that's always on a Wednesday. So Freshers Week Wednesday, either in the Students' Union building or the library. All the sports teams, all the societies are there. Free dominoes as well. So make sure you go around and speak to everyone.
Cool. So we've had a little chat about your job.
Yeah.
Well, your roles. Quick question: What superpower would you have that would make your life easier or help you out in your job? Go.
I'll go
Who
first.
wants to go first?
Me. I would like
Beaver's not pre-prepped, by the way.
teleportation.
Teleporting. Teleporting.
And why?
What's wrong with that?
Why would you want teleporting?
You're
Teleporting.
lazy.
No, because lazy, efficient. Because you're literally having to go everywhere. You're on campus, you're on library. On a Wednesday, it would be perfect. It means that I can go and watch all the sports teams from Stolly to Polo Farm to the sports centre. It would just be perfect.
What about as a
Means-
real sports app to be able to run really fast?
So is that what you would have? Really, really fast.
Oh no.
He just
No,
would
you don't
like to
like
even play sports. I don't even know why he said that.
Krum, what would your
Can.
X-Man special power be?
I don't know. Like, can we do like telepathy and stuff. Like that would be cool.
Telepathy, yeah.
Telepathy, yeah, that would be cool.
You
To
can
make stuff happen faster, like it's because sometimes it's like you need a lot of convincing people. You know you're right, but a little bit of telepathy might help sometimes.
It's mind control.
I'd say time travel so I can skip past like the
Force.
long meetings and get into the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Go to read the minutes.
I think I'd like to stop time so I can sleep for longer.
That's all right. That's all right. So you're full of energy
Cackling in my ear.
and full of beans.
Also, more Hawaiian.
Jordan, Ollie Mentesi wants to know why you always wear a hat.
It's
It's
Go-
his hair,
no, no,
it's
no.
receding hairline.
Take the hat off.
It's
Take the
receding
hat off.
hairline.
the genuine reason is that I have receding hairline and my hair is just terrible.
Oh.
I hope Ollie's happy with
You
that.
need to-
Cheers,
To
Ollie.
be fair, Ollie wears a hat now and then, doesn't he?
Yeah, Ollie.
Indeed.
Oh,
He does
Ollie.
indeed.
Don't send for me.
Cool. Where are we? I've got Harry Fox. Say hi. Hi, Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Hiya.
He wants to know
Hey.
what's the hardest thing you've done as a Sabb this year.
Hardest.
Yeah.
I got one.
Go.
It was really, really awful. I did job interviews with one of our staff members for a member of staff, and I really loved someone, but I had to turn down. He was really nice, but
Did you know them as well?
No, but I just loved him as soon
I was
as I
going to
saw him.
say, that's quite hard when you know them and you have to sort of like put your professional hat on.
I think that's quite good that you're trustees, aren't you,
Yeah.
of the student union? So you do actually get involved in quite high profile things like interviewing for new staff members.
I think another really hard thing to do is saying no to a student, because sometimes there's just nothing you can do.
Cool. Anyone else got
Yeah,
anything?
My one is the whole extravaganza happening around the remuneration committee and the campaign that we're building upon this. It's pretty much the committee decides the vice chancellor and senior management pay in the university, and we want a student representation on the committee. So it's being like a long campaign of actually getting to it and all this stuff, and the university is still not really keen, so we have a lot of work to do working upon it. But it's policy of the union for the last 4 years.
And the fight
And we're
continues.
going to make it happen this year. Yeah.
So generally, you're working for students, aren't you? That's
Yeah.
that's your primary aim, and I think we've got a good relationship with the university, haven't we? But just
Yeah.
sometimes you kind of pull out face. We have.
It takes longer to get things done.
Yeah,
We
you need
do.
to work in
There's
partnership.
a lot
And
of
take give and
levels,
take.
a lot of levels that need to be approved before something can happen.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Anyone else got any hardest things they've had to do here?
It's when you can't get around to everything as well. Like you're working 9 to 5, and then there's so many events on in the evening, and then you go to someone's event, and you go to someone else's, and then if you don't make another person's event, they take it quite personally, and you're like, I'm only one person, I can't get
Also-
to everything. So you need to think about your own mental well-being as well.
It's also sometimes a 24-hour job sometimes, where people
Yeah.
want to talk to you at night when you're not working.
It's always 24/7. The always
Yeah.
job. The moment that you even go out with mates and stuff, people always stop you and start talking about work stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's all part of the job, and we kind of enjoy it. We love the fact that students can speak to us whenever. But I guess after a while, we just get a bit tired.
Krum, Oliver's just popped online. So let's go, hi Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
It's probably a question linked into your remuneration committee topic, and he's just asking about what you think about the VC's increased salary. It's a bit of a
On the nose.
bit of a
The guy works hard for his money.
I think it blocked. I think it froze. Yeah, like it's interesting because it's justification of increasing the pay is national pay award of 1.1%. But here I might ask why this award was not awarded to all academics or to all university staff. So if we're talking about an excellent performance and whatsoever, why this is not awarded to the wider academic community in Christchurch? And it's some questions that we need to ask, and maybe there's really hard questions for us to ask, and there are some questions that needs to be answered, and the answers might not be the ones that the university wants to hear or we want to hear, but I think students deserve to know, and the university should be more transparent,
Yeah.
and if they have nothing to hide, they should allow the students based on the REMCON, so the students have their say in where their money go. because our institution is funded 95% of the funding comes from student-related activities, and a proportion of this goes to the senior management pay, and I think students should have the voice of how this money is being spent.
Also, Krum. Also.
Thank you.
There you go. So we've kind of gone a little bit off topic, but I think that's kind of good because it shows that students are interested, but it also shows that you're not just sat at a desk or you know, oh, it's just sport, oh, it's just societies, etc., etc. But say you finish this role, what would you like to be remembered for in this job? So when people look back, what do you want them to think?
I want to have a composter named after me.
That's what you want.
Some goals.
Composting face. Do you want to say why you're talking about composter?
Because this year of our campaigns is food waste, so we want to educate students on how to reduce and reuse their food waste.
Okay.
That's part of it.
So composter named after Nick.
Yeah. Watch
Okay.
this space.
Make it happen.
So ironically, you do talk a lot of rubbish.
Soon on your campus.
But it's refining that rubbish into something useful.
That's unlike Nick.
Jordan?
I don't know.
It's still quite fresh for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I may not have been the best Sabb, but I will probably remembered for doing my best for students, and also just being a really nice guy.
And there's some really nice campaigns coming from Jordan that you need to watch for the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I think
You'll
it's probably quite
definitely
modest
remembered
there.
for.
But yeah.
That's how I'm so nice.
Ah, bless. Beeps?
Just wanting to make a positive change, and just encouraging students to reach their full potential. I hope that I have done that.
This is nice buzzword bingo.
Yeah. It just, I feel like usually when I do speak to students, it's always about what do you want to do, what do you want to do in the future. So hopefully whoever's next can carry on that sort of vibe.
Important question. Will you be remembered as the sports Sabb to bring varsity home?
Oh!
So varsity is our annual sporting competition against University of Kent. We don't win it. It was really close last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 more games than we would have won. Like, I literally can smell it. That's that close.
That's just true.
That's not really good.
Smell victory.
Or it might just be Jordan.
I think
But the truth is, like, we do have potential to win, and we are so close. We'll just see what happens. Everyone keeps working hard over. Hopefully, they don't gain too much Christmas weight over the holidays. But yeah, when we're back, ready to hit it and smash it.
I think you'll be remembered as the first Sabb to run for US president.
It's not true.
It's true. It's
Anyway.
happening.
Anyway, and on to Krum.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, he prepped us, he gave us a list of questions, and we were thinking about it. And I was thinking about this one, and I wrote things like liberation and developing these campaigns, but actually what I want to be remembered for is the staff was never afraid to ask the hard questions, and to be upfront with the university and tells them, you're wrong, and that they need to change some of the ways how they work, and especially how they do student voice. And from this is like all of us, like I think is the most important thing that you should remember this team for is the amazing work that we've done to empower students and to give them more power to run campaigns around mental health, around liberation, about postgraduate, around sport, around green impact, etc., etc. So I think as an overview as a team, this like
and also just the communities. I think Christchurch is so close, and one thing that we have over. Every time we go to other unions, they're surprised by how close and how much of a family everyone is. So I think it's something that we should all treasure, to be honest. How close the sports community is, how close all the liberation groups are, and how close the union is as a whole.
Awesome. I think we're getting near the end. It's been really great chatting. But as we started off with this live chat, is that this is mostly to do with elections, and in January our nominations opened for student elections, so you could actually stand for your roles. They're full-time paid positions, so you would take a year out of your studies, or you could do them at if you're in 3rd year, you could do it after your studies finish. But what would you guys say to anyone who wanted to stand? Why should they stand for elections and become a student union president?
I literally think it's the best job in the world. really is. It gives you just a great platform to do whatever you want from afterwards. I think if you're thinking about it, just do it because you've got nothing to lose.
And no 2 days are the same.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun.
I think even if you was a runner and didn't get it, it's really good for your CV and something really good to talk about in interviews. So if you're really passionate about sport and you go for it, and maybe if you don't win, it's still something really good to take into an interview.
Yeah. And the whole process of campaigning, writing a manifesto.
It's skills you wouldn't have anywhere else. Like running a campaign is such an alien thing. I've never done it before. Hopefully, won't ever do it again. So.
And the other thing I think is really, really important is actually it helps you to build so many skills in such a short period of time that you might have not do in other job. Like because I did my first year as president between my second and third year. In my second year I got like 58% or something like this. And my second year I got 68%. So I increased my grade with 10% just because of how my writing improved, my grammar, the way how I phrase stuff. So even things that you the confidence of writing. So it's even things that you wouldn't think you'll gain from this job, you actually do.
Yeah. And I used before the job, I used to hate talking in front of people. Now I'm doing it on a weekly basis, and like on the Sports Fed Awards, there's like hundreds of people there. You just don't think about it; it becomes second nature. So I think it really helps you become a stronger and better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll repeat those times again. We've got an elections website, ctsu.co.uk/elections. And as Jordan was saying, you can run for election. You're not committing yourself to anything. Nominations open 22nd of January to the 5th of March, and then we have voting, which is 12th to the 15th of March. So a few days of that. If you're in your third year or another year, you can do this. You can run for it. If you get elected, great. You've got something to do because you start your roles at the beginning of July.
Yeah,
so you get to obviously finish your year. But if you say you don't get it, you've got that great experience that was mentioned. But then you can carry on looking for jobs and those kind of things.
But it's important to know that next year we're having a different roles.
Yeah. So we had a referendum earlier on this month. And the roles have been changed, haven't they? So all of the roles are slightly amended. So if you just want to go through.
Yeah. Okay. So my job is going to be. I'm not doing it. Some of you are doing it.
So it's union president.
Yeah. It's called union president, but has more of an academic role. So everything like course reps, student reps, faculty reps, so things like academic societies such as archaeology society, etc., etc., are going like under the union president and representation on academic board, governing body, etc. So it's pretty much like an academic SAP with the union president.
Yeah. Sport and engagement. So basically everything the same, as well as having all the active sort of societies as well, such as dance society. Zouk Society. So yeah, it's a lot more exciting role. I think you're also the lead on freshers events and key events in general. So I think it's very exciting, and I wish I was doing it this year as well.
So my job is actually the one being split in two. So the education remit is actually being transferred to the union president, and then wellbeing. So it'll be president of wellbeing next year, but they also will take the lead on matters such as liberation and their societies that are associated with that, as well as having a full-time agenda on wellbeing.
So, local community.
Let's go development.
And it has obviously the rest of the societies and...
Yeah, so all the societies, all the communities such as Doctor Who, and Harry Potter, and it's also employability as well.
And volunteering and things, and especially like I think is really important is the development sabbatical officer has in their remit to lead the relation on different campuses, so has temperature, Medway, etc. on their process on their
and also be continuing your work on green impact as well. So yeah, no, it's pretty much very similar, but a few changes ahead.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it. I don't think we've got any more questions coming in, but hopefully people have found it useful. That's it.
I just want to say that if people are thinking of running, that you can message any of us.
Yep.
We have our Facebooks, our email addresses. If you ask any questions about what the job is like, or any concerns or worries you might have, we're happy to help you.
And even things later on like manifestos, anything like that.
Yeah.
If you want us to have a look at them, we're more than happy to have a look at them. And steal your ideas.
We've all won, so
We're
Yeah,
all
we
good.
can't
Just
go
Jordan.
one of us three. We can't rerun.
So, as I said, ccsu.co.uk/elections. There's the roles on there. There's suggest a friend. So, if you're watching this, you're not going to run for a position, but you know someone who'd be great, then you can suggest them on there. We've got a manifesto bot where you can come up with some weird and wacky suggestions about what you could put in your manifesto, what you could stand for. Quite a lot of different info on there. So go and have a look. But is that it, guys? You've all done?
Yeah.
Let's have a wave and goodbye. Bye, Krum.
Bye.
Bye,
See ya!
See ya.
Bye, Nick.
See ya.
See you later!